the Italian song, theme song from the movie Silence Il Silenzio. Finish.
My new introduction, I think. Yeah, I've had to start this again, folks. G'day, my name is Joseph Stevens. I'm a trusted seller of TBC. Yeah, my last go at this ended up really messy. So I decided to delete what I'd done and start again. So here we go. I think I changed the name on this. Yeah, safety with passwords and PCs. And I had a different name on the other one, which was PC issues and password storage and safe practice. And I'll just share my screen and then we'll go from there. Okay, I hope you can see all this. Okay, PC issues and password storage and safe practice. Cyber security experts aren't like you or I, but then I probably come under this cyber expert sort of security part of it. And so, yeah, I make sure I keep my PC pretty up to date with antiviruses and everything like that. So that's why I'm saying that. Anyway, I'll carry on. You and I. And now we have the evidence to prove it. Researchers at Google interviewed more than 200 experts to find out what security practices they actually carry out online, and then spoke to almost 300 non-experts to find out how they differ. Perhaps unsurprisingly, the security experts practice what they preach. And I do. I practice what I preach, what I use, and make sure that, you know, when my granddaughter's online, that no harm comes to her as well. We don't have any trolling here. So the security experts practice what they preach, or at least they tell Google they do. And so some of them might be a bit lazy at making sure that their viruses and that are all up to date and everything. They're more likely to use two-factor verification, and I'll show you that when I do get back onto my screen once I stop sharing after I've read this. So to install updates and avoid visiting shady websites, which is the deep web. A lot of people do go down and do go into the deep web, and you're very naughty when you do. They go into the deep web and they see something that they like movies or things like that, and they try and get it for free. But unbeknown to them, the movie's carrying a virus or a Trojan or malware that follows the movie in when you're downloading. So your computer ends up being harmed. Okay, so we practice using two-factor authentication to install install software updates and avoid visiting shady websites, even for practices that are subject to healthy debate within the security community. You know, action speaks louder than words. The experts are more likely to run antivirus software and use password managers or than non-experts. And I've been hearing a lot of that through a lot of the broadcasts, that a lot of people don't use password managers and just write it down. I used to write all my passwords down, then I lost my book. I typed a lot of my passwords onto a spreadsheet, print it off, delete the spreadsheet. Then I have a copy of my passwords, and I normally carry it in my wallet or hide it away somewhere, sometimes where I can't find it. And then I lose all my passwords again. But I found by using a password manager, you have a couple of safety factors in there with password managers, and where you can have the two-factor. I'll just unshare my screen for a minute. You have the two-factor on your phone, like what I do. I have a two-factor. This is a two-factor authentication, and it says Touch ID. So I have to use my thumbprint to get into it. Then these are the codes that change every 2 or 3 minutes. So it gives you a word of a site to go, of where you're going in, gives you that authentication, but you've got to have your password as well. It gives you that. It gives you that, not word, it gives you the numbers, type them in quickly into your authenticated when you put your password in. And then away you go. So you've theoretically doubled up on covering yourself for safety. A lot of sites have a barcode in them, and you just take shots of it like a camera. So you just take a shot of the barcode, and then away you go. This should help people in keeping your password safe and not losing your password while we're in migration. So I'll get back to sharing my screen again and back onto Cool. Okay. Yeah, what I did in my first video, and I had to trash it because I made a few errors, is when I was cleaning folders out, just as an example to use. And when you do that, you end up stopping the browser, so you end up with a blank window. So, and just carry on. So what do experts do? And perhaps more importantly, what are the modern day superstitions we can all stop doing to save time? Well, yes, you do want to install updates. Update all the software and firmware to fix any possible vulnerabilities. Patch, patch, patch. The experts clear. Never turn down a security update, which is correct. I don't. I make sure that my security update is done. The researchers found that not only was installing updates the most commonly cited practice, the experts do keep safe online. And the best way to do that is to make sure you have a firewall up so that so that hackers find it harder to get into your computer. And good firewall apps will warn you as quick as they can. Not 100% safe, but at least you're putting up a front line. The experts are clear, never turn down the updates. The researchers found that not only installing updates was most commonly practiced, I've already done that, experts. It was also the largest difference between experts and non-experts. 35% of the former mentioned it, while 2% of the latter. And a further 2% of experts also mentioned turning on automatic updates as one of the top 3 things to do, something non-experts mentioned. You know how to turn on updates? You have to go into your control panel and turn your automatic updates on, or just turn them on. And your computer, your PC will be updated. If you're on Windows 10, it'll update, Windows 7, Windows 8, XP. And for those that might be still in the doldrums on Windows 98, yuck. Yeah. But you've just got to keep doing that and making sure that you're updated. Non-experts, however, we're worried about that. We're worried that the update could themselves lead to an infection. Well, this is true too. You don't know whose computer may be carrying a virus or malware or whatever. And when they're doing updates, they should be checking these updates as well. And you can check anything that comes into your computer by just running your virus checker at the same time. Where am I going with this? Is because a lot of people are afraid that if someone gets into the computer and hacks them, they hack their password as well. So you've got to be able to know how to deal with that. Software updates are usually the only way to combat against actual security vulnerabilities. And those bugs are in software that let malicious attackers do things they shouldn't. For instance, the recent Adobe Flash vulnerabilities open a user's computer up to hacking. If they continue using the software until patches were issued, there was little option but to simply stop using Flash and stay safe online. and some of them even had to shut their computers down because they didn't want anything to happen to what they had on there, so they just simply shut their computers down. I knew that would happen. Hold on, I'll just bring that back out again. Anyway, yeah, so they just simply stop using Flash. Use antivirus software, but don't bank on it. Antivirus packages have a bad rap. Some do, depending on what ones you get. And a lot of them had bad reputations because they were slowing down the computers with added gruff. They were pricey software support packages on, they were passing this pricey support packages on to desperate users who were installing them just to keep viruses out. And I think that during the middle of 2000, the end of the 90s, and then starting in the 2000 up to about 2008 or 9, there was a lot of viruses and a lot of hacking going on. And a lot of the antivirus packages that they were putting out, it was costing people a fortune. And yet you could just pick up a package online for free. However, antivirus software was vastly more favored by non-experts than experts, and barely 60% of the experts actually used it. However, it is how users in the know said that AV is simple to use, but less effective than installing updates. True. And that the software is good at detecting everyday common malware, and that's true as well. It is pretty good. I used AV for a while, but as it says, I found it a bit sticky. I just want to go into my browser. Yeah. I had it set up. And I'm just going to type in top NT. Okay, the top antivirus packages that are out there, the winner, number one, is Total AV. Very good. Not badly priced, and it is very good. I've used it, but I ran out of, I didn't want to pay for it again when I had it. And then PC Protect, not too bad. Norton's I found is a bit yucky, a bit clumsy. I use Avast. Avast has a lot of stuff that I like on it. It'll remove malware, spyware. It has web protection. It blocks phishing from websites. It has scheduled scans. Password manager, which has a one-button stop on it. So all you do is just grab your It can be programmed to your phone, and you just press a button on your phone, and it'll open up your antivirus checker. It stops, as I said, it blocks phishing websites. It's compatible with Windows, Apple, Androids, iPads, and iPhones. Has a live chat, phone support, and browser manager, and identity protection for your cards and everything like that as well. And it is pretty good. And the top 5, the last of the top 5 is ScanGuard. Never ever used it. And I just use Avast, which is this. And when I close it, I have to enter the password, a master password, to get into passwords, to get into anything. And when I'm online and that's locked, I can't open anything unless I open this first. Very good performance on it. It does a thorough clean, and really keeps your PC running pretty quick. This is just my laptop, and I find my laptop runs a lot smoother than my big PC sometimes. Okay, just get back onto move that one down, and open this back up and carry on. So just keeping your passwords unique is another good thing, and I'm just going to add in here, just beside that, how to really make a strong password. And you can use your name, your first name, and your last name. And your first name, your first 3 initials of your first name should be something. I'll use this, but I don't use these. I don't use this style of passwords. I generate my passwords because they're a lot more complicated. But for people that are still new to the password world and making up passwords, you can do this. So my first name is Joseph. So I put in JOS. Put your date of birth in, like that. Or you can put a number that your lucky number. Anything. Your last 3 letters of your last name, and your date of birth, or the year of birth, of 2018. Something like that. Then at the front, you can just keep expanding your password. So say your dog's name. So you can start with a T, capital. Make those one small. You can chuck in a question mark or a dollar sign into there if you want to. And then on the end, you can put down your street that you live in. Make the last one a capital. There you go. Pretty strong password. And you could probably put a hashtag on the end. Write it down there. And after a while, you'll get used to doing it, and you'll know exactly what you're typing in every time. Don't ever put in as your password or as your password. Don't ever put those in. They're so simple. Don't even put just your name or your kid's name or your best movie. Don't put just the name. Just scramble it up a little bit. Password security online is frequently summed up as strong, unique passwords. But it turns out one part of that might be more important than the other. Non-experts tend to focus on strong part, with 30% of them picking that as one of their top 3 tips. Against 18% of the experts, conversely 25% of the experts pick unique, against 15% of the normal users. So a lot of them add in capitals, symbols, numbers, smalls and capitals. They just mix it up. It's easy to see why. Using a strong password, the longer the password, the better. And this will help with TBC when you're creating a new password for your wallet. Think about what you're going to put in there as a strong password. I'm just giving you a tip, and try to create your passwords like that. You don't even have to use your name. You can use your grandchild's first and last names and their middle names or anything like that. You can use your oldest. You can use date of birth, but separate your numbers. Don't keep them together. Just make them strong. It's easy to see why using strong passwords, that is one that uses a good mixture of case, letters, numbers, and symbols, as well as steering clear of dictionary words, which is true. Don't just put in pass or required or donkey or sheep. Requires a one-off feat of memory. Now, one of my passwords I've had for quite a long time, and I know the beginning of it, and I know it inside and out. And all I do is I change the numbers on it. So simple. And you can do that too, as long if you create your password. All you need to do is change a couple of things, but as long as you keep writing it down for the first few times, then you know it. And a good hint to when they say you need a hint. You can get this, you can see this when you go to log in and you forget what your password is and you have to type a hint in. Well, all you have to do is remember what you could usually, like I said, dog's name at the front. That's all you have to do. Hint, your dog's name. Or your numbers that you remember. Oh, gee, I changed the numbers. Type the numbers in. Hint, so that you know what you're typing in. With TBC, with the wallets, it doesn't give you any of that. It doesn't tell you, it doesn't give you hints on your password at all. You've just got to bear with it for a while, I think they said. But in practice, most people, I'm not going to read, but in practice, most people are unlikely to face a brute force attempt to break into their account by simply guessing their password. And even if they do, it doesn't take much to render such an attack unsuccessful. But most people are likely to be users of at least one service which gets hacked, as Adobe, PlayStation, and Ashley Madison users have all learned, and I think even Yahoo got hacked as well. To their advantage, having a unique password can prevent that misfortune compounding. Number 4, there's 7 of these. Number 4, use a password manager. How do you remember all those unique passwords? Well, I use a password manager. I use this one, which is Dash, and it holds all my passwords in here. But that one always gets locked the same as this one. All my passwords are in here. They both carry the same thing, same passwords for everything on both of them. So if I forget the password on this one, I know the password on that one, which will have the password for this one, and vice versa. So I can get into both of them. Yet only 18% of non-experts through advice, or where was it? Back up the beginning. Passwords managers such as 1Password is really, really good. It's you pay for it monthly. LastPass I don't know about, or KeepPass, but as I said, I use Avast or Dashlane, and Dashlane's pretty good. It's easy. It's free, and there is an upgrade to it as well, which you have to pay for. Avast, you definitely have to pay for. And it is a little bit costly, but it's worth it. And solve problems. They are used by more than 3 times as many experts than non-experts. So there you go. And experts are 4 times more likely to name them as one of their most important things they do online. The researchers cite one expert as saying that password managers change the whole calculus because they make it possible to have both strong and unique passwords, which is correct. You can have 18 to 24 letters if you want, and symbols and mixtures. The longer the password, the harder it is to hack. Yet only 18% of non-experts thought the advice to use a password manager was very effective. In other words, a lot of them wrote it down. And some even explicitly said they don't trust them. Their reasoning is that password managers can be hacked. Maybe. But if you've got an authenticator on them, they need your phone to hack it, because they can't just hack into it. It's like trying to get into a vault in a bank that has about 20,000 doors in front of it, like Fort Knox, if you look at it that way. And that if other software has bugs and flaws, who can guarantee the same problems won't apply to managers? And those worries, the users are backed up by a team from Microsoft who reported in 2014 that users should rely on easily memorized passwords rather than managers. Not right. Easily memorized passwords is not good, because if you can remember them, and they're as simple as saying, your dog's name and his age, and you type that in as your password, people that they might be passing by your house and they hear you calling your dog. Okay, now all they need to do now is just guess how many numbers. or guess the dog's age or whatever number you put on there. It's just, and that's just hearsay anyway. Yeah. But easily memorized passwords are exactly that, easy. But the security experts are clear. Despite their concerns, using Password Manager is better than not. In fact, some of them even recommended writing the most valuable passwords down on paper. As one says, malware can't read a piece of paper. But the number of experts actually writing down passwords was still lower than the number of non-experts writing down passwords. As a rule of thumb, if you can remember all your passwords, you're doing it wrong. I can't remember all my passwords. I can remember some, not all of them. Over half the non-experts claim to remember every password. But while just 17% of the experts said the same. The two-factor authentication, perhaps because of companies which, such as Google, Twitter, being increasingly pushy about trying to encourage users to switch to two-factor authentication, 2FA, where a password is backed up by a code linked to a specific mobile. Almost 2/3 of non-experts say they use the security system on their accounts. Those rates still lag behind the experts, but the high numbers suggest that the message is getting through. At the same time, the non-experts overstate that the benefit of 2FA, especially when compared to the less flashy practice of using a password manager. More than 4 in 5 non-experts said they thought it was effective, compared to 32% of the managers for password managers. Visit the websites even if you don't recognize them. Non-experts tend to claim they keep safe by only visiting websites they already know about. Visiting websites you've heard of doesn't mean they are completely safe, but there is a higher chance of this, explains one. But they might be exaggerating slightly, while 21% of the non-experts said that visiting known websites was an important safety. Okay, I'll skip all of that. Do as I do, not as I do. As I say, not as I do. But not everything security experts do is something to be followed, despite recommending that users not click links on emails from unknown sources, a way to avoid phishing emails, as well as targeted malware. I do all the time, said one, laughing, but I tell my mother not to. Yeah, okay. Down to the bottom, Trojans are known to create a backdoor on your computer that gives malicious users access to your system, which is right. You know what the Trojan horse is. Well, they ride in through the back door on anything. They'll jump on anything to get into your computer. And once they're in there, then they can create havoc. They can get into your credit cards, your bank accounts, everything, your personal files, pinch your photos, and get into everything. And a piece of viruses is a piece of code which is capable of copying itself and typically has a detrimental effect, such as corrupting the system and destroying data and just wiping your computer to smithereens. It will just destroy your computer. And bad luck, you end up having to chuck your computer out and you have to buy a new one. It's just that viruses just destroy computers. Trojans can destroy people's lives, but viruses will destroy computers. Malware can do the same. Malware is software that is specifically designed to disrupt, damage, or gain authority access to your computer. And then once they're in, that's it. They're in. And the same with a worm. A computer worm is a standalone malware computer program that replicates itself in order to spread to other computers. So it just goes from whoever's computer it came in on to the next computer that's in that house, to the next, to the next, to the next. Same with a company. It can write in on someone's computer, then it'll just destroy a company. But it won't affect, like we are in TBC. I'm a member, someone else overseas is a member. Say the person overseas gets a virus, I can't get that virus because I'm in TBC. That's not how it works. Okay, so someone says to you, oh, TBC's got a virus in it, watch out. Where did it come from? Is the first thing you ask. Who started it? And someone will say, oh, blah, 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 okay. Yeah. It'll only affect the area that it's in. And then if it's handed to another area, then it goes on. It's a worm. Worms almost always cause at least some harm to the network, even if only by consuming bandwidth, so it's slowing it down. So your computer is absolutely just running. Watch my Trezor. Your computer probably be running this slow, not this way. Where you can't. You're trying to move your mouse on the computer. Yeah, it'd be as fast as a snail. Okay, folks. Well, that's that part of it done. Cancel. I'm just gonna minimize that. Minimize this window, and I want to bring up my folder. Okay, and I want to show you how to clean out your prefetch folder. And by doing that, it just helps your computer to run a bit faster. So you go to C drive, click on it. I use this area here because it's easier than just going back to the forwards. Down to Windows, open that, and then look for your prefetch file. So if you want to go back over this and see where I've gone, okay, I'm not gonna delete anything in here because if I do, my broadcast will disappear. I found that out in the last one. Okay, so all you do is just go, click the middle, Control A, press delete, and all of this is gone. Okay, all this is just all you've done during the day. That's all it is. It's just you surfing around, and it's just rubbish. It's waste. You don't need it, and you just clear it. And it'll come to one where it'll say prefetch. You'll just see a little bug folder like that, and it'll come up, and all you have to do is just say, just agree with it, and just go. What do I say? Just go pass on it because you can't clear it because you're in the folder. Okay, so shutting that one down, and I think we're finished. And I'm going to stop sharing. So I hope you've got an understanding of what I've been trying to show you today with with regards to looking after yourself and making sure that you do not lose your password, because that's just going to be, that's just going to rip you apart if you lose your password. And then you're going to have someone, then you're going to look at someone to blame, and it ain't going to be me, because I'm just showing you how to protect yourself from that ever happening. And just making sure that you remember. Okay, I've just done the one-touch thing on my phone for my Avast to let me into my computer, and I only have to put in my master password, and then I'm in. But copying and pasting is a good practice of when you put your password into your wherever you're logging in. It is a good practice, because you can get keyloggers as well. That another thing that are dangerous to you, because they can just pick up every keystroke that you're doing on the internet. So copying and pasting your password in is good practice, and it just stops them finding out what your password is. So I hope I'll get a little bit of this across to you, and make sure that you understand what I'm saying, and stay safe. Thank you very much for listening. This is my third broadcast for the day, because I had to break the other one down from 2 and then delete it. My name is Joseph Stevens. I'm the trusted seller of the TBC Billion coin, and that's me. Thank you. Bye.